Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today at 12 o'clock to bring you the Rubayiat of Omar Khayyam as explained by Paramhansa Yogananda and edited by Swami Kriyananda. Today we're on quatrain 18 of the Rubaiyat, and first I'll read it to you, and then we'll let Swami Kriyananda sing it to you because his message is so clear through the singing. I sometimes think that never blows so red the rose as where some buried Caesar bled, that every hyacinth the garden wears, dropped in its lap from some once lovely head. Talk about obscure. Now let's listen.
'18. I sometimes think that never blows so red the roses where some buried Caesar bled, that every hyacinth the garden wears dropped in its lap from some once lovely head. Paraphrase. I wonder if the rose, growing in soil once soaked by the blood of some long-dead heroic king, is not for that very reason all the redder. Man's environment influences him, but man in his turn exerts a subtle influence on his environment. While the cities he builds must eventually crumble, his powerful thoughts may leave a lasting impression on the land where he once lived. Past heroic lives are also more richly hued for the tenderness, mystery, and sympathy that we attach to them. Every hyacinth of noble thought growing in the garden of the human mind enriches in hidden ways the lives of other human beings. Our truth-aspiring inspirations, moreover, have not their origin in our own minds. In part, they are shaped by others' wisdom. All thoughts at their ultimate source are sprayed from the fountain of eternal wisdom.
Hang on. The words themselves in the quatrain may sound poetic and somewhat obscure, but the paraphrase as explained by Paramhansa Yogananda and really spiritually can only be explained by a master, for truly they are, you have to dig for it. They're difficult to understand on the surface. But the paraphrase explains that we leave behind all our actions that we've lived in any given life, all the repercussions of our actions, the people we loved, the people we frustrated, the people we blocked, the people we set hurdles for in our lives, the people we hurt. All of these things leave some vestige of themselves in the ether and, of course, in our own spine, in our own karma. And he goes on to explain that even our thoughts do that. Even if we haven't taken the action, as Sri Yukteswar so aptly explained to Yogananda in Autobiography of a Yogi, which is a little bit like Yogananda playing both roles, because these were avatars, fully enlightened beings, doing the play, doing the Leela, so we could see how it works and what it means. And when Yogananda went to strike a mosquito and stopped part way, and Sri Yukteswar said to him, "Why not finish the job? You've already done so in your mind." And so goes on to explain that our thoughts are really part of the action. The action acts it out, but it initiates with the thought. And as long as that thought is there, the thought of the intention, the thought of hatred, dislike, disgust, all the negative emotions that we can think of, as long as those thoughts are there, they send that same energy, vibration into the ether. And you can feel it. One can feel it when we become more sensitive spiritually. And so the meaning of this quatrain is, one, to make us aware of that so we can be more conscious of our thoughts and of our behavior. And I don't mean that in a calculated way. I mean that in a perceptive way, an intuitive way, so we can sense when we get off, and that we can sense when our thoughts are not helpful to ourselves or to the other people that we might be thinking about. And that we can, in modern day vernacular, it's a little bit like wanting to leave this earth a better place, wanting to make a difference, those kinds of phrases, so that we can have positive thoughts, positive actions, and ideally those thoughts and actions which will enlighten us more spiritually. And what that really means is thoughts and actions that are not of the little self, but ego transcendent. And those are the thoughts and actions. Those are the vibrations that we want to have in ourselves, share with others, and leave in this place to make it a better place, to make a difference. Those are the things that make a difference. It's not only the outward activity, though that is very important, because our thoughts need to be brought into action as well, or else they become passive, and those are not powerful thoughts, and those are not lasting thoughts. We have to act, as the Bhagavad Gita says. There's no way to get there through inaction. We have to actuate all those spiritual thoughts, especially, to be able to make ourself improve and to be able to make a difference and be helpful to others in the future. We offer pilgrimages, for instance, to India, to Assisi, where we have a center. We have one coming up to Assisi this fall, God willing. I'll I'm knocking on wood, that we'll be free enough from COVID that we can actually do it. And I think we can. But in any case, in Assisi, it's a great example because St. Francis of Assisi lived over 1,000 years, or about, no, 800 years ago. I think he was in the 1200s. And the point I'm trying to make is he lived in these places, and when we visit those places, we can feel the vibration of his consciousness. We can feel the vibration of peace, of joy. We can feel the spiritual vibrations. I remember we had our son with us there and daughter once years ago. And he said, "Mom, it's so thick. That feeling of God, I can cut it with a knife." Even he, as a young boy, could sense, even he, especially he, as a young boy, could sense that divine vibration that was left in the ether in that place where St. Francis prayed, meditated, and served. Let us, all of us, imagine like points of light all around this world, sow seeds of divine inspiration and consciousness. Joy to you, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the Rubayiat of Omar Khayyam, explained by Paramhansa Yogananda.